Hello and welcome to Alpha Militaria TV. Thanks for tuning in once again. My name is Richard Saunders. Now, I enjoy all the rifles that I get to play with for the channel, but I've been really looking forward to this review. This is my own rifle. It's a Weihrauch HW80 1981 Mark I. It's the very first air rifle that I had as a kid, and it's given me hours and hours and hours of pleasure over the years, and I really wouldn't be without it. It shoots fantastically well after 40 years of abuse. But I'm not reviewing this one, unfortunately. I'll put this one to one side. Instead, we're going to be talking about its modern day replacement. Still the Weihrauch HW80. I don't know whether this is called a Mark II or not, but it's certainly slightly different in the sense that the forend here is rounded off, whereas the Mark I, the one back there, has more of a sort of an angled square finish to it. Now, obviously these have been made for quite some time. The Weihrauch HW80 has been part of the Weihrauch catalogue for decades. And originally it started off as a Beeman, I think it was a Beeman R1, don't quote me or get upset, but it definitely started off as a Beeman rifle made in the USA. And when it was marketed over here by Weihrauch, it became the Weihrauch HW80. Now, as a result of that, the Weihrauch HW80 was originally made to be much more higher powered than the UK 12 foot-pound limit. And the Mark I, the one back there, that would have been engineered to produce around about 22, 24 foot-pounds. But obviously, nowadays, 12 foot-pounds is more the norm, certainly in the UK. So what we're going to do is we're going to walk through the rifle from back to front, as we usually do. Then we'll zoom in on a few features in a bit more detail. Then we'll pop a target out on the range and see how it shoots. So you have two versions of the HW80 on sale at the moment. This is the HW80k, which stands for Kurz, which is, I believe, German for short, but it's generally referred to as the carbine version, and is 1,060 millimeters long and weighs 3.9 kilos and includes a Weihrauch silencer on the end, which fits on via a 1/2-inch UNF thread on the end of the barrel. Now it weighs 3.9 kilos, so it's quite a chunky monkey. But the full length version is slightly longer. The barrel is slightly longer. It's a 410 millimeter barrel on this, so slightly longer on the full rifle version. And as a consequence, it weighs just a little bit more, about 4 kilos. Now, a lot of that bulk was designed into the rifle originally, when, as I said before, it was that sort of 22, 24 foot-pound rifle. At the back of this rifle, you have a solid curved shoulder pad. It's rubber, it's not particularly squishy, but it's quite nicely shaped and has a black spacer. The stock itself is made from beech and is dedicated right-hander stock. As you can see on the side here, there's a cheek piece for right-handers. Now, I'll have to check what the situation is for left-handers, whether there is a dedicated left-hander version, and we'll put that in the notes. The pistol grip is quite steeply raked. It's very comfortable in the hand. You can shoot thumb up or thumb wrapped around, and there's some very good quality checkering on both sides of the pistol grip. There's no checkering on the forend or underneath the forend. It's just plain, but it's well proportioned and very comfortable in the hand as well. Now, right at the top at the back, you have, just up here at the top of the back of the action, you have a safety catch. And it's an automatic safety catch, and it's pretty much the same kind of setup has been on Weihrauch Springers for decades. When you cock the rifle, the safety pin pops out, and you have to push it in from the left every time you want to fire. Now, some people will moan about automatic safety catches. As I say, I grew up with my Mark I HW80, so it's never really been an issue for me, and you do get used to it quite quickly. The trigger, so much has been said and written about the Weihrauch record trigger. One of the best, if not the best, triggers on a spring-powered rifle. Very, very clean, 2 stages, no creep whatsoever, breaks like glass. it's just a supreme trigger, and you can adjust it by. I will show you this in closer detail. There's a little screw up here, just behind the trigger, that is accessed through a hole in the trigger guard, and that will adjust the weight of the trigger and the let off. You've got a set of dovetail grooves in the top to take a scope, and they have holes in the back of the top of the breech here, which will allow you to put an arrestor pin. So that's like a little kind of pin that drops into that hole through the rear mount to stop the rifle shaking the scope out of position. It can happen. I've never really had an issue with it. And so you can either put an arrestor pin there, or you can put like a little arrestor block, which is like a sort of a cut-off piece of a mount, the lower part of a mount, and attach that to the back of behind the rear mount here, and that will stop any scope movement at all. Obviously as a break barrel rifle, you will need to just tap the end. It cocks very, very smoothly, and in cocking it, you can see, hopefully I don't know if you can see that, but the safety catch pops out. Now what that means is that if you pull the trigger, nothing is going to happen. However, if you push the safety catch in and pull the trigger, the barrel is released. So the good thing about that is it means that you can decock the rifle. The bad thing is if for some reason you push the safety catch in, take your hand away from the barrel and pull the trigger, it's going to fly up and cause damage to goodness knows what. So just be aware that there's no anti-bear device on this. The lockup itself is really nice and solid. There's no movement in that barrel and the breech there whatsoever. Right, so I think that's the key features on the rifle. As I said before, let's zoom in on a few and show them to you in detail. Right, well, let's see how the HW80k shoots. Now, I set the target out at the usual 30 meters, and I'm using some Air Arms Diabolo Field pellets in 5.52 size. So we'll see how we get on. Now, what I always say with any spring-powered rifle is always hold on to the barrel on a brake barrel or the underlever on an underlever when you're in the process of loading it, so that if that safety catch does give way and the barrel flies up, you're holding on to it so it's not going to cause any damage. Right, let's see how we get on. Make this the last one. Right, let's go and see how we got on. Right, well, half a dozen shots at 30 meters, and you've got to say, that's not bad at all, is it? That is a one whole group maybe what, a couple of pellets width, something like that. I reckon 4 of those have gone through that hole down there, and 2 have gone through that hole there. As I say, that's at 30 metres with air arms diablo field 5.52 pellets. Well, there you have it, the Weihrauch HW80k. Really going back to my childhood days with that. Really great rifle, performs as well today as it did 40 odd years ago. A little bit of a twang to it, and a lot of Weihrauch springers do twang. It doesn't seem to put off the performance by any stretch of the imagination, but if it bothers you, it's very easy to get rid of with a bit of a tune-up, a bit of fettling to it. We'll remove that. But I have to say, you know, out of the box, single hole group at 30 metres, you've got to be pleased with that. Anyway, I hope you found that of interest and useful. If you did, please hit the like button and give us a subscribe, because it does help us out enormously. And if you'd like more information on the Weihrauch HW80 and a number of other Weihrauch rifles as well, take a look at our website, which is www.alphamilitaria.com. And thanks for watching.